Welcome to CSU Todos Santos Center. Today we are going to talk about Day of Death, a celebration of memory and a ritual that privileged the memory over oblivion. In the pre-Hispanic times, the cult of death was one of the basic elements of our Mexican culture. When someone died, they were buried, wrapped and shackled, and their relatives organized a party in order to guide them on his journey to Mictlan. Likewise, they placed food that he liked in life with the belief that he might feel hungry. As you remember, food is very important for Mexican culture.
Number 1. Portrait of the deceased and images of saints. A photo of the deceased for which the altar is paying tribute is placed at the top and in the middle of the altar. Images of saints serve as reminders of the role as intermediaries between the living, the dead, and the beyond. Number 2. Water. Representative of the purity of the soul, and it is believed that the water will quench the thirst of thirsty spirits. Number 3. Bread. The most common food offering for the spirits. The most commonly used form of bread is called pan de muerto, bread of the dead, a round loaf of bread that may be adorned in 3 colors in the forms of quills and bones, and then sprinkled with white sugar. Number 4, fruit. This is to delight the soul, to include seasonal fruits such as apples, which represent the blood, pumpkin, sugarcane, jicama, and some other fruits. Number 5, other food and beverages. The altar will include beverages, dishes that the deceased enjoyed on earth. In addition to pleasing the departed, this element helps to recall memorable aspects of the deceased and often include pulque, chocolate, tequila, wine, or pozole, a drink made from corn and honey. Number 6, salt. It is believed that during the journey of the afterlife, the salt will prevent the body of the departed from breaking down as it travels along the winding road to eternity. Number 7, cirios and velas. These 2 types of candles each have their own meaning. The basic, unadorned paraffin cirio symbolizes the soul being alone and are typically placed in a cross representing the cardinal points. Velas, which are typically in a glass container adorned with the image of a saint, serve as the guide to light the deceased way in the ascension of the spirit. Number 8, one of the most important elements of an altar, flor de cempasúchil or marigolds. The cempasúchil is a bright yellow Mexican marigold, also known as flor de muerto, is the main floral adornment for gravesites and altars. Its strong scent and bright color, said to represent the Aztec sun god Tonatiuh, are believed to be an attraction to the spirits of the deceased, as they come to visit their family on the Day of the Dead. The colorful orange and yellow hues of the marigold, either fresh or dried, are also believed to help the souls of the departed to keep their way along the path in the afterlife. The petals of marigolds are often spread to cover a level of the ofrenda. Number 9, sugar skulls. As an example of the enlacing of pre-Hispanic and Christian elements that combine to define this tradition, the small sugar skulls symbolize Mizquitzli, the god of death, as well as representing the victory of the Trinity. Sugar skulls typically have the name on the deceased on their forehead, are one of the most common items placed on the altars or offerings. Number 10, a cross. The display of the Christian cross symbolizes the forgiveness of any remaining sins of the deceased. Typically, this is a cross made of wood, but may also be made of flowers or other materials. 11, copal. The special fragrance of this ancient origin resin from a tree of the same name has 2 meanings. The first is to purify the place of evil spirits, where the altar is located, and the other is a connection with the sky. It is believed that as the aromatic smoke of the copal rises, it makes a connection with the dead. 12. Papel Picada. These are the colorful tissue paper rectangles that are cut to display Dia de Muertos designs and hung from string above altars and places on the front and sides of the altar.
The levels of the altar of death represent the strata of existence. For example, a 2-level altar symbolizes earth and heaven. 3 ones incorporate the underworld or purgatory. A 7-level altar symbolizes steps necessary to rest in peace. This type of altar is the most traditional. In the step 1, you have to place the image of the saint to who this person was devoted or a cross. And the number 2 is intent for the soul of purgatory. It is useful because through this the soul of the deceased gets permission to leave that place in case it's there. Here we will put a candle, a glass of water, and a mirror for the souls to look so they don't forget that they have died and prevent them to stay in this world. The step number 3 goes the sal, symbolizing the purification of the spirit for the children in purgatory. The number 4 is where we place the pan de muerto, which is offered as a food to the souls that pass through. Step number 5, the favorite food, drinks, and food of the deceased. Step number 6, photographs of the deceased are placed there to remember through the altar. And in the last one, the number 7, it goes a cross made of seeds or fruits, such as tejocote and lime. It should be noted that the UNESCO declared this holiday as an intangible cultural heritage to the humanity in 2008 because of its importance and significance. It's a traditional expression, contemporary and living at the same time, inclusive, representative, and communal.